absolutely thrilled to have with me Yuvraj Singh, who I think God took special time out to give him one of the greatest bat swings the sport has seen. Yuvraj Singh, yes, one of the greatest bat swings in cricket.
I don't know, but I'm not sure if I did justice to it, but I tried my best.
Did more than justice. 304 one-days. What are you talking, Yuvi? You were brilliant and highly watchable as well.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. Yeah. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Let's go back to 2000 because that's the first time we saw you. I saw you on a platform, international platform. And I remember at the time saying that this has to be one of the greatest debuts by an Indian batter at the international level because formidable team, the pitch had pace and bounce, and you played a wonderful innings. Maybe the second one day, but your first outing in that particular game. Tell us about that performance.
I actually was not supposed to start. We had some practice games and I did well in them. I remember scoring, I had a partnership with Rohit Sharma against West Indies in a practice game. We both scored 50s and that's how I got the nod ahead of Hemang Badani because Hemang started in the team before. First game against Kenya I didn't get to bat, but second game obviously nervous times and Saurav did a prank on me. He said, "What you want to open tomorrow?" And I didn't know what to say, so I was like, "Yeah, if you want me to open, I'll open." Whole night I didn't sleep. The next morning he said I was playing a prank. I'm only going to open.
That's terrible. Because of the attack, right? I mean, the attack was brilliant. Tell us who were you facing in your first innings?
I mean, there was Brett Lee, there was Glenn McGrath, there was Jason Gillespie, and there was Shane Lee.
Yeah.
So guys.
Brett Lee's brother.
Exactly. The guys were bowling more than 140. Brett Lee was bowling 150, and I remember Brett Lee bowling the first ball to Dada. It clocked 150, 151. And I was batting at number 5 and I wore my elbow guard and I was not wearing my pads. It was a quick wicket and obviously very nervous, but when I went into bat, when I went into bat your focus becomes watching the ball. I got sledged badly by the Aussies straight away.
And for no reason? You didn't
No,
give them a
just
reason.
stepped in and they started and I started to play. I knew how I play an under-19 cricket. I just wanted to focus on what I know over here. Obviously, it was a big stage. I just focused on the ball. I remember getting dropped on 37 on McGrath's bowling.
Memory.
Yeah, but the thing is that if I today would have scored 37 on my first in Australia, I would have been very happy.
Yeah.
Because the attack that I was facing. Luckily, I went on to score 84. I don't know how. I just watched the ball, hit the ball. Some people tell me that I should have scored 100 on my that innings, but I was like,
that's an obsession, Indian obsession.
Exactly. So for me it was a very big moment. Like I got the man of the match. I got 2 runouts. I think run out of Michael Bevan was very important because he was taking the game away, and I think it was great victory for us because it was new middle order, new team. Saurav had become captain, and beating Australia was big for a guy like me, first game. So it was a monumental moment, and kind of pinched myself in the evening in front of the mirror. कि ये कैसे हो गया?
That's why I think it is one of the best debuts that I've seen because of the attack that you mentioned. Just imagine Brett Lee, Glenn McGrath, Gillespie on a pitch that had pace and bounce. And I'm thinking a guy who came from the 90s, grew up in the 90s, under 19 level, to come and play like that on a pitch like this. You played the cut, the pull, the drive, you had the front foot, back foot shots. Was that always part of your game or it suddenly emerged because the challenge was so great?
I think from my childhood, my father really prepared me on fast tracks.
Okay.
Like he would bowl me wet tennis balls, wet leather balls on a 17-yard wicket. Because he knew that international cricket, if you want to play, you have to play fast bowling. You need to have jigra kehte hain na? You need to have a heart to play fast bowling. So I think he prepared me from a very young age. And I think that was the reason why I could face that kind of pace. And in under 19 cricket, we played a lot of 3-day cricket and 4-day cricket. So I didn't have a lot of experience of one-day cricket. But I did have the experience of, playing pace. So I think that really helped in that matter.
So that happened, so there was no surprise as to how your one-day cricket career panned out. You became, in my books, one of the all-time greats in white ball cricket. So tell us about that journey, that innings. Did it give you the confidence, acha, international cricket itna hi hai? And give you the confidence to keep going and eventually the career that panned out?
I mean, it gave me a lot of confidence, but next game also I got about 40 or 45 runs of 30 balls against South Africa. But again, there was pace and bounce. I thought that, I can do this. But then I went to Sri Lanka, to Sharjah, and there was Muralidharan. And there was...
reality check.
Exactly.
That is very rare for an Indian batter, reality check against spin, because normally it's the other way around. At least with us it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
So tell us about...
No, I mean, I was a decent player of spin, but playing world-class spin bowling was completely different. You're a young guy, you're learning about the game. And I just could not read him at all. And I had a very bad tour of Sharjah. Had to go back to domestic, play a lot of matches. Spoke to Sachin about how to, counter these guys, how to play spin. He told me that if you want to play these guys, you need to learn the sweep shot. So because the off spinner, when he used to bowl my legs, I used to get completely blind. I was struggling to take a single and, so I started sweeping. I got out a lot on sweeping initially, but once I got the hang of it, I could start to dominate spin. So that came later after 1-2 years when I was in and out of the team.
So you bring Murli into your conversation, and it was a question that I had for later, but I think this is the right time to ask it. People talk about Dhoni in that 2011 final at the Wankhede Stadium promoting himself, let me go out there. I wondered from outside whether it was a tactical call, whether he wanted to keep the left-hand, right-hand combination, because the obvious thing would be for Yuvraj Singh to walk in.
Yeah.
So your thoughts on that?
So, obviously...
with Murli 8 overs left to bowl when I think Virat got out.
So I think when Virat and Gautam were having a decent partnership, the conversation happened in the dressing room. Now, actually, I have not really spoken to the guys how it happened. So I think it's Viru, Sachin, Gary, kind of Mahi, I don't know, had a conversation of keeping a left-hand combination because I think it was the right call because there were 2 off-spinners bowling.
There are 3 off-spinning options, really.
Yeah. And they said if Virat gets out, Mahi will go. And if Gauti gets out, then I will go.
I'm glad you cleared that up because people would think that Dhoni felt that, this is my time to go in there and finish the game, because the cricketing logic says that Yuvraj Singh is your man.
Yeah.
And he's been in great form.
Yeah.
But it's only because you are a left-hander, you have to be kept back, right?
Exactly. So I think it was more of a team decision now. Exactly. Everybody was in their corner, very tense. I really don't know what the conversation was. But I clearly know that Sachin and Viru, because they were not leaving their seats because the partnership was going.
It's Tendulkar's thing.
So I think they spoke to Gary and then they called Mahi and I don't know. I don't know the exact conversation, but I think four of them had a conversation about left-right combination. And I think that's how the decision was made at that moment.
I have to talk about the 6 sixes.
Yeah.
I mean, you've talked about it many times, but I was sitting at home and watching it. And after you hit the 3rd or 4th, I was with my family. I said, this is going to be 6 in 6. The way things were going. You also got that feeling that ye ho jayega.
See, Sanjay, I actually got hit for 5 sixes before that tournament. I bowled the 50th over. I don't know why Rahul gave me the 50th over. And it was like really playing on my mind for a while. But I mean, I was lucky that I got into that kind of situation. I got into an argument. But after the 3rd 6, which was over long off, I felt Stuart Broad was, Paul Collingwood told him to bowl the 4th ball outside off stump because the boundary is longer.
And you heard it? Or?
No, I was watching them planning.
Oh, okay.
So I knew he's going to bowl outside off stump. After the 4th ball, when I hit the 6 over point, he changed his plan bowling on my leg side, which I thought was a wrong plan because the side was very short. The fifth ball was hit my toe of the bat, and the sixth I was ready to hit it straight. So I kind of felt that the bowler fell into my plan. And you've played so much international cricket. You know that when it's your day, things happen for you. So it was just one of those days I was hitting everything in the middle of my bat, and it just happened.
See, 6 sixes in itself is entertaining and spectacular to watch. And the way you hit sixes also, I mean, you're, as I said right at the start, very watchable. So it was a great package. And no wonder it's one of the main archives in Indian cricket. So white ball journey, brilliant, 300 one-day internationals and more. Want to talk about another innings where you saw the lows that happened with batters in white ball cricket, Dhaka, India in the finals. And I'm watching the game. I think you got 11 of 21 or something.
Exactly.
So a Yuvraj Singh that hits 6 sixes has done this as well. Want to get inside your head again. Because nobody, I mean, at least I was feeling, something is happening there. It is beyond his control. Would that be right? That rut that you got into at the time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, end of the day, you're human and you can make mistakes. And unfortunately, that mistake came in the final. I was very low on confidence throughout the tournament. I knew that the atmosphere around me was, that he's going to get it dropped. And I was not getting any support from the team. And this is not an excuse. I played a bad game. I deserve to be dropped. That's fine. But from times of Gary and going into Duncan's era, there were completely different atmosphere in the team.
That's it.
And obviously I had come back from cancer. I had trained a lot. It almost took me a year and a half to get my body back. So I was very low on confidence because suddenly I had India A games. I had hit great form, and had a T20 game, and suddenly I had bad form. Not just in international cricket, in domestic as well. I was struggling to score runs. I scored 60 or 40 against Australia. I thought I batted well. I batted smartly. But when the finals came, I just couldn't hit the ball. I tried to hit the off spinner. I just couldn't hit it, and they all went for dots. I tried to get out. I didn't get out. And I remember when I got out, it was Kulisekara who bowled a full toss, and that hit the middle of my bat, and I got caught on long on. And that day when the ball hits the toe of your bat, it goes for a 6. Everybody said my career was over after that. I also thought my career was over. But that's life. You have to accept. When you accept your glories, you have to accept your defeats as well. You have to accept your lows as well. And you have to move forward.
So I'm getting this impression that Yuvraj Singh is a guy, if he's in the right climate, right support system, you get the best out of him, isn't it?
If you are my coach and if you tell me that I want you to go and win the game for India, it just opens me up. That's what Gary told me always. You're my match winner. You're a game breaker. Go and break the game. But if someone is not going to come and talk to me and always keep on telling me this is not good, that is not good, your technique is not good, it just, no matter how big a player you are, it just confuses you when you don't have the support. And this is obviously, I'm not trying to blame anyone. When you're not performing, you're not performing. You have to look at yourself.
Correct.
But the point is the atmosphere of the team, the support of your players and your coach makes a huge difference.
And there are different kinds of people, and we often use the word temperament in cricket. And at this age of my life, I've realized temperament is basically the nature of a person.
Absolutely.
It's a sporting terminology for nature. So you seem to be the kind of guy, if there was a captain who believed no matter what. I've seen captains who have backed players. I mean, look at Kuldeep Yadav now. Different captain, different team, he's become a different bowler.
Yeah.
Did you feel that had you got more support when you were slightly down, chips were down from Dhoni, then perhaps the trajectory of your career would have been different, or your career would have gone longer?
Definitely. I mean, if you're captain and your coach and people around you, they support you, then obviously, I mean, look at Mahi, end of his career. He had so much support from Virat and Ravi Shastri. So, they took him to the World Cup. and he played till the end, and he went up to play 350 games. So I think the support is very important. But in Indian cricket, everybody's not going to get their support. There are few people. There have been great players like Harbhajan Singh, Virender Sehwag, VVS Lakshman. So that's happened with everyone. Gautam Gambhir, everybody's been in the mix and suddenly they're not there. So when the support is not there, it mentally you can't. When you're batting there and you're thinking the axe is hanging on your head, how are you gonna give your best? It is not an excuse, but I'm just saying that with different coaches and different after 2011, times were very different.
You mentioned Virat Kohli. His bad patch, to be very honest, has surprised me as to how suddenly the dip has come. I expected this to happen much later in anyone's career. And my observation, UV, is that he seems to have just lost the power of hitting. Even when he's hitting sixes in IPL, the ball is just landing over the boundary. What do you think is troubling Virat, the batter? Because this is another all-time great who suddenly is out of form, can't get a run.
See, my observation is slightly different than you. Because Virat has set benchmarks from his younger days so big of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. He's actually, yes, his form is not the best.
Yeah, he's
right?
not at his prime,
Not his prime.
form-wise, yeah.
But he's still scoring 50s and 60s and 40s. So he is still scoring runs. But obviously he's also not happy with that. And people also not happy with that because we've seen him setting bigger benchmarks, hundreds after hundreds, 90s, 80s. So I'm just saying that this was going to happen. This has happened to all the best players.
Yes.
How he gets out of it?
Do you think he will? Will the graph go up again?
I think he will, but I think he needs to, go back to his younger days and think about the things he did, how he was as a person. He was a free person. He was a very chilled out person. He needs to look inside those days, and he needs to think about, being a free flowing person. Because he's a very free-flowing personality. In the next 3-4 years, I'm sure his will come back to his best because he's a man who believes in ethics, and that is what has brought the best out of him over the years.
Yeah.
And his work ethics is 4 times better than any athlete that I've seen in the last 15 years.
Wow.
So his ethics is going to get him out of this, but he has to come back to this free-flowing personality which he was a couple of years ago.
So UV, I want you to become an ex-cricketer now, the expert, ex-cricketer expert like me that I've been for years. Let's talk about current Indian cricket. Rohit Sharma, the new captain after the Virat Kohli stint. How do you look at Rohit Sharma as a leader?
Excellent leader. I think I played under him when I was playing for Mumbai Indians. Very good thinker, very good captain. I felt should have been Indian captain, especially in white ball cricket a while ago. But Virat was doing well, the team was doing well, so it was hard. But I think Test cricket, it was a bit emotional because when he was announced, said regarding to fitness. I mean, you can't decide your Test captain regarding to fitness.
Yeah.
So, either you have a captain, or either you don't.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's getting injured a lot. He's at that age where he has to really look after his body. So also I feel it adds pressure to him on Test captaincy as well. It's been only a couple of years he started Test opening. And he's been playing really well. So let the guy, just focus on his batting Test cricket. But obviously, I hope he enjoys. It's not easy standing 5 days on the park, and I really felt that Rishabh Pant should have been vice captain. A lot of people still feel that he's not mature enough. Obviously, we'll come back to that later, but I felt that they could have lessened the burden on Rohit, which is just one-day captaincy. But let's see, how much his body survives in Test cricket.
I think that will happen automatically because there will be some series that Rohit will miss and they'll have to make somebody the captain. So I don't think that will really...
See, I feel you have to get someone ready
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Mahi became captain out of nowhere, but they made him, right, and then he evolved. Virat was a very young captain. I remember speaking to him. I said, "Are you ready to be Test captain?" He said, "I'm not." He said, "But given the opportunity, I'll do my best." So he also became better with time. I mean, so if you pick a young guy and you feel that he can be your future captain, you have to give him time. You don't expect miracles in the first 6 months, 1 year. So I just feel that you have to believe in the younger guys that they can do the job.
I'm glad you brought up Rishabh Pant because he's again out of the blue. This is a guy who started off being extremely enigmatic. And I was wondering what this guy is all about. He would in test he would start off playing a big shot, hit a six, and then get out. And the next test match in England, 20 balls to get off the mark. But finally, we have come to a stage where we see Rishabh Pant for what he is. For a guy who's played for such a short while, he already has 3 great test innings to his name. You know, it could be one of the all-time couple of great test innings for India.
Absolutely.
So tell us about this guy. How do you view him? Because I'm completely floored by what he has done at the test level. In India, Australia, England, South Africa, everywhere.
See, Sanjay, you also have to see, the game has evolved. Test cricket is not the same as it used to be 10 or 15 years ago. It's become on a very fast pace. He's a guy who believes in his game. If he is not going to go and hit the first ball in Test cricket, he's not going to learn. And that's how he learned. In South Africa, he went, slogged Rabada, he got out. And the next inning, he stuck on the wicket and he got 100.
Yeah.
I think that was a great knock.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. I'm glad, they were able to give him chances after chances, and that's how his game developed. And keeper is always a good thinker because he's behind the stumps. He has the best view in the ground. They talk about his immaturity. They talk about, he's a young kid. Obviously, I was immature at that age. Virat was immature when he was captain that age. Yes, he's immature, and but he's getting better. He's getting more mature as time goes by. And you need to give players that much time. And I feel if he would have been vice captain, because for Jasprit, he's a fast bowler. Being on the field 5 days in a row, it's not easy for him. So I'm thinking if Rishabh, obviously I don't know what the sports staff think about it, but it's just my opinion that he would be the right guy to lead this test team because he's captaining Delhi Capitals.
Yeah.
And he's someone who has, when I talk to him, he's got a decent brain about how cricket goes. He looks very aloof and
But in the
Mola.
batting, sometimes you can see,
Yes.
there is a method,
Yes.
as they say, to his madness.
No, I know. But when he becomes captain, he might take more responsibility. You look at Hardik now. He's become captain. He's bowling first 2 overs, 3 overs. He's shouting on the ground and he got 50 or 42 balls.
Yeah.
When was the last time Hardik Pandya got 50 or 42 balls? Right?
Yeah.
So it's the captaincy that it's making them better. Because as a captain, you have to take more responsibility. And I feel that if Rishabh made captain in the future, will take that responsibility also in one-day cricket. I mean, one-day cricket, obviously there's Shreyas as well. But I think if they have Rishabh as test captain in the future and probably look at Rishabh and Shreyas in one-day cricket, is something, I think that's where the new era of cricket is going, to have 2 captains, to have less burden and keep guys fresh.
So Indian cricket is, so rich when it comes to talent that every generation there's been one all-time great. Every generation, Sunil Gavaskar, Tendulkar, whatever. Rishabh Pant is your future great from Indian cricket that we'll see, because Virat Kohli was the last one. Rishabh Pant now.
In terms of the best wicketkeeper batsman, yes, I see Rishabh being there. I always tell Rishabh that, Gilchrist scored 17 test hundreds, batting at 7, probably 1 inning at number 3, but look at that's a phenomenal record. Can you do that? You have 4 test hundreds already at a very young age. I think you can do that.
He's got 490s, 189 not out.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think he can be there. He can get there, but obviously he will take a lot of hard work dedication, maturity, everything. You know, when you become Indian captain or you are playing for India, there are a lot of things you have to, sacrifice
Yeah.
to be the greatest. So if he does that, I have no reason that he will. I'm very sure that he will get there. I was supposed to be the captain, but I think what happened was when the Greg Chappell issue happened, it was said that they should make anybody the captain, but not myself. So out of nowhere, Mahi became captain for 2007 World Cup because I thought I was going to be the captain because Viru was senior, Viru was not on the England tour, and I was the vice captain of the ODI team while Rahul was captain. So I was supposed to be captain. Because since young kid, I wanted to be a good test player. I wanted to play 100 test matches. I wanted to face those fast bowling. I wanted to bat 2 days. So I never got a stretch to play 10 test matches, 20 test matches, 20 test matches. I'm not saying that I was going to be very successful. I just feel it was not meant to be. 2 innings isko diye, 2 innings usko diye, 2 innings aise nahi hota. When we won the World Cup, everybody had a set position to bat.
Yeah.
I think test cricket is dying, to be honest. Why would someone play a 5-day cricket and get 5 lakh rupees and today play T20 cricket and get 50 lakh rupees? Why would somebody play that?